Hi everyone, this is Stella and welcome back to Stellar Music Theory. Today we will go over Chapter 8 of Grade 1 in the new ABRSM Workbook series, Discovering Music Theory. Chapter 8 is on intervals. In this chapter, you will learn about intervals in C, G, D, and F major. Intervals. An interval measures the difference in pitch between two notes. So basically, an interval measures the distance between two notes. We can use the degrees of the scale to measure the intervals between the tonic of a key and every other note in that key. Here are the intervals above the tonic in C major. Let's take a look at the box here. We are in the key of C major. Let's write out the scales of C major, starting with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C would be tonic or degree number 1, D would be number 2, E would be number 3, F would be number 4, G would be number 5, A would be number 6, B would be number 7, and the last C would be degree number 8. So you will notice that in every bar, the first note would be C, because in the key of C major, C is the tonic. Let's take a look at the first bar. We have a C going to a D. They are next to each other and it will be an interval of a second because it covers two keys. In the next bar, we have a C going to a E. So we are going from degree number 1 to degree number 3. And since 3 notes are being covered, this is an interval of a third. Next, we have a C going to a F, degree number 1 going to degree number 4. So it will be an interval of a fourth. Next, we have a C going to a G. So it's degree number 1 going to degree number 5. Therefore, it's an interval of a fifth. Next, we have C going to A, which is degree number 1 going to degree number 6. So it's an interval of a sixth. Next, we have C going to B, and it's degree number 1 going to degree number 7. So it's an interval of a seventh. And for the last bar, we have a C going to a C. So it's degree number 1 going to degree number 8, and therefore it's an eighth, or we can call it an octave. Did you know we can use the term octave or eighth to describe the interval from C to C? Exercise 1. Write the missing numbers to identify these intervals above the tonic. Question A. We are in the key of F major. And you will notice that the first note in every bar is F, because F is the tonic or the first degree in F major. Let's write out the F major scale starting with F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and F. In the key of F major, there's a B flat, so we will put a flat here. Now let's write out the degree number starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's start with the first bar. We have a F going to a G, which is degree number 1 going to degree number 2. So it's a second. Next bar, we have a F going to a A. So we have a degree number 1 going to degree number 3. Therefore, it's a third. Next, we have F going to B, which is a degree number 1 going to a degree number 4. So it's a fourth. Next bar, we have F going to C, which is degree number 1 going to degree number 5. Therefore, it's a fifth. Next, we have F going to D, which is degree number 1 going to degree number 6. Therefore, it's a sixth. Next, we have F going to E, which is a degree number 1 going to a degree number 7. Therefore, it's a seventh. Okay, the last bar, we have a F going to a F. It's degree number 1 going to its octave. Therefore, it's an octave. Exercise 2. Write one note after each tonic to form the named interval. The key is D major. So here, what we need to do is to write the note in the right place on the staff according to the given interval. We are in D major bass clef. The starting note in every bar is a D. So what we can do is to first write out a D major scale starting with D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. We can put in the sharp. There is a F sharp and a C sharp in D major. Now let's write out the degree, starting with degree number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go back to bar number 1. We start with D, and we need to write a note that shows an interval of a second. And the answer would be E, because from a D, which is on the line, going to the next step, the space here, it will be a second. And this is E, which is degree number 2 in D major, so it's a second. Next bar, again, we start with a D, which is degree number 1. And this time they want an interval of a third. So we can write the third degree about D, which is D, E, F here. So we will write a note here, which is F, and it's degree number 3. Theory in sound. Sing or play or ask someone to play some of the intervals written above. Try to get used to how they sound. Some intervals sound relaxing and others sound quite tense. Smart tip. In exercise 2 and 3, your note should be higher than the given note. Exercise 3. Write one note after each tonic to form the named interval. Remember to add accidentals where they are needed. Question A. We are in the key of C major, and there are no sharps or flats in the key of C major, so we don't need to worry about the accidentals. We are in bass clef, and the starting note in every bar is C, because C is the tonic in C major. In the first bar, they want an interval of a sixth, so what we can do is to either write out the scale and count the degree, or we can also count the notes on the staff. Let's start with this space here. If we go up to the next space, it's a third. Up another space, it will be a fifth. Then from here, if we go up a step to the line, it will be a sixth. So the sixth will be here. Next bar, again, we will start with a C. This time we want an interval of a third, so all we need to do is to go up to the next space here. Next bar, again, starting with C, we want an interval of a fifth, so this time we need to skip 2 times. So from this space, if we go here, it will be a third, and if we go up to another space, it will be a fifth. So the answer is this. Did you know intervals can be written in 2 ways? Sometimes they will be written one note after the other, as in a melody like this, and we will call it a melodic interval. And sometimes they will be written one note above the other as a chord, like this. We call it a harmonic interval. In the grade 1 exam, intervals are written one note after the other, so they will all be melodic intervals. Exercise 4. Write the missing numbers to identify these intervals above the tonic. Question A is in C major. All we need to do here is to count the intervals. There are 2 ways to work out the intervals. The first way is to label the notes. For example, in bar 1, we have a C going to a F. So C, D, E, F, it will be the interval of a fourth. Or we can count, starting with this line, which is 1. The space is a second. the line is a third, and the space here would be a fourth. In the second bar, again, we start with a C, and we go to a D. So CD will be interval of a second, because they are next to each other. Next bar, we have a C going to a C. C going to a C would be an octave. Exercise 5. Tick one box to show the correct number of each interval. Question A. We are in the key of F major. We're in bass clef. The first note is F, the second note is a B flat, so you can count F, G, A, B. Or if you are not very good with the letter name, you can always write down C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you can start with F. So F, G, A, B, it will be a fourth, or you can count directly on the staff, starting with this line. Going to the next line would be a skip, which is a third, and then go up a step, it becomes a fourth. Exercise 6. Identify the intervals marked by brackets in these melodies. The first note of every interval is the tonic. Smart tip. Count up the scale from the bottom note of the interval until you get to the top note. The number you reach tells you the interval. Question A. We are in treble clef. This is where the first bracket is, and it's done for you as an example. The first note is C, the second note is E, and the first note is the tonic, so we are in the key of C major. So there are two ways to do it. You can write out the scale of C major starting with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 degrees. C going to E will be degree number 1 going to degree number 3. Therefore, it will be a third. Or what you can do is just count the notes directly on the staff. Starting on this ledger line, going to the next line, it will be a third. The second bracket is here, and we have a C going to a C, so it's very easy. This is an octave. This is the end of Chapter 8. I hope you find my video useful. If you like my video, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be uploading new videos regularly. Stay tuned and see you next time.